Ah, you should have seen the boy fretting. 'Twas a sight to behold. Tease him no more. Master Alphino is to be applauded for his sense of responsibility. Given his years, 'tis little wonder the burden weighs heavy upon his shoulders. You know what's funny? That just got me thinking about the comments, I had made during A Realm Reborn, particularly the patch content of how much responsibility they gave Alphino and just treated him like, he was a full grown adult or whatever. And it's like now finally somebody is like, he's just a kid. 'Tis natural for him to feel concern for his companions. Mourn in passing. Alphino is keen to inform Vidofnir of Lord Ravana's defeat. Shall we be on our way to Alexstrine then? I would not have the dragons think that we have forgotten our bargain. It's a nice view. I know, some of the textures in this game do not look great when up close. But certainly from a distance they look good. Will the dragon now honor her word? That remains to be seen. Vidofnir will be pleased to hear of Lord Ravana's defeat and of his pledge to recall his soldiers. You should be the one to break the news. The victory was yours, after all. Thou art returned, little one. Hast thou abandoned thine ill-conceived contest with the Nath? No, we got it done. Pretty handily. Nay, my friend, we return in triumph. By Lavenza's hand was the beastman's god, Lord Ravana, laid low. In his overconfidence, the Primal swore to withdraw his followers from your lands in the event of his defeat, a promise we believe he will keep. Well, I mean, at least at this point, he's not even around to, not keep it. I mean, unless the Nath just immediately summoned him again, and he's like, okay, I'll just kind of sit here. The Nath shall trouble you no longer. The deity is slain, then. How didst thou contend with his biting blades? But the particulars matter not. Thou hast fulfilled thy promise, and I shall fulfill mine. Attend me, mortals. Hie you? Is that how you would say that? Hie you unto the deepest reaches of Morn, and there shall you find Halo, the altar from which you may begin your ascent to the summit of Samal. But be fairly warned, the minions of Nidhogg shall not lightly suffer your presence on that sacred mount. By your struggles within the cavern shall I judge your party possessed of sufficient fortitude to proceed. We shall not disappoint you, Vidofnir. If memory serves, the Cavern of Morn is entered from the second floor of the central tower. Let us begin the climb. Okay, so we're not far from Samal. Yeah, it's the same. Where are we? Where are we? There we go. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going straight there. I was thinking for a second it was going to have us... I don't know. The little circles and have to fight stuff along the way, but... It's not looking that way. Sawmall is a pretty cool dungeon, and I loved the gear at the time because it was, it gives you kind of that, or like a version in the vein of like a barbarian style um, aesthetic, with the furs and everything like that, the hides or however you want to call it. Well done, little one. As promised, I shall open the way to Som Al's summit for thee and thy companions. Heed me now, children of man. The domain you seek to enter hath not seen visitors of your kind in nigh on 1,000 years. Though I freely grant you passage, your presence will not be welcomed. Except by the Mughals. Although, I mean, from what I remember, they make you work for it. To my kin, this mountain is revered as holy ground and resting place both. Wear you the minions of Nidhogg during your ascent, for 'tis certain they shall take great offense at your intrusion. We are grateful for your warnings, gentle Vidofnir. My final words are for thee, Dragoon. Have care to keep the stolen power thou wieldst in check, lest it breed further despair. Estinian? The way is open. Let us not tarry here. A moment. Shall we blindly forge on, knowing the dangers that await us? Tiamat herself is said to guard this peak. I do not fear Nidhogg's consort. Any dragon foolish enough to bar our paths shall feel the sting of my lance, which is exactly what she doesn't want, but... Spoken like a true butcher. Need I remind you that we are come to parley a peace? Let us be clear, heretic. 'Twas to save Ishgard and her people that I first lent my support to this doubtful venture, and 'tis for their sake that I go now to speak with Hraesvelgr. But I said nothing of Tiamat. Should the opportunity present itself to rid my people of one of their deadliest enemies, I shall take it. That is my duty as Azure Dragoon. You are beyond redemption. We will accomplish nothing by bickering. If we are to meet with Hraesvelgr, our path leads up the mountain. We shall defend ourselves if attacked, but avoid conflict wherever possible. What other choice do we have? We shall defend ourselves if attacked, but oh, what? Okay. Do they just repeat the same stuff? Oh no. A dragon lost to anger is beyond all control. This I learned to my sorrow when I unleashed the horde upon Ishgard. I feel the weight of Dravinian rancor pressing down upon me. One thing I thought interesting in the cutscene, I never really noticed, Like it looks like this structure was once like a full thing, but like the whole left side was like melted or something. That would be my assumption, unless it was meant to look this way. And it just, you know, it makes me think, what was the cause of it? I mean, maybe it was like 1,000 years ago, you know, when the war started or whatever. And that's maybe Ishgardian doing. The assumption to me is just like dragon fire or something, but whatever. Yeah, they do a really good job with these intros. You know, just kind of, I don't know, getting a feel for the dungeon, maybe hyping you up a little bit. It's funny, you know, the idea, like, according to the cutscene, is to go through here without, you know, like, without provoking, but, I mean, I guess, again, like, I did not provoke. They aggroed me. Hear the Galacat die. So it was cool. This is... I don't think there's anything in Dusk Vigil. But, like, this is where you start to see, like... Well, I don't know that it uses any of the same mechanics, but certainly just, you know, seeing... Like, basically, like a version of a raid boss. But I know, like, you start seeing mechanics from Binding Coils, you know, in the Heavensward dungeons. I just thought it was always cool, particularly because Binding Coils wasn't something that, like, a lot of people did. You know, because it wasn't, like, a story mode or whatever. And so it was cool to actually see them, you know, bring those mechanics and kind of bosses and everything to the dungeons or whatever, to the people that, you know, hadn't experienced Binding Coil. You gonna come and join me, or what? Flies up, disappears, and then reappears. I never actually paid attention to see, like, if it did actually just, you know, from where it was, just come straight down, but it doesn't. I don't know if I even need to deal with this stuff or what, but I presume maybe just to get the dragon to come down. This next boss, I remember, was really cool at the time, and not that it was a difficult mechanic, but, you know, it was one that, you know, people kind of needed to know what they were doing. I mean, you know, it was enough that people, like, saved the LB to get the, you know, the one ad. Where I've done this, you know, like I've gotten it, oh, I don't need to pick, where I've gotten it in, like mentor roulette or maybe leveling roulette or whatever more recently. And I mean, you don't even need to worry about that mechanic anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, I don't think any of the dungeons were hard enough that, or, you know, like it takes that much more time to kind of, you know, have the difficulty that it had before. It would be nice if they went back and readjusted dungeons to be more like the, you know, like the original difficulty of them. I mean, I would argue even Steps of Faith, like, shouldn't have been nerfed from the beginning, but evidently enough people struggled with it that they felt it necessary to nerf it. But like, I don't consider myself to be like that great a player, and I didn't have trouble with it. And I mean, that's, you know, with 7 other people, but I mean, I also don't know the numbers of people, like, giving up because of it. This next boss, I think, is still kind of trouble for some new people, just because, you know, if nobody tells you the mechanics beforehand, you can be kind of overwhelmed. Yeah, with one AoE ability, I took out its wings. Certainly, I think I can go on for a while longer soloing stuff. Oh, I didn't need to pick that up. I don't know why. Just out of habit. But it really is, I think, all junk for me. Oh, here we go. So this time it was killing a dragon. Like, I don't know what exactly constitutes, like, an event, you know, to get back more of the blessing. Because before it was like, gaining knowledge. This time it was killing a dragon. Again, presumably, like that was the catalyst. Lavenza. 'Twould seem Tiamat was the last. I sense no other dragons nearby. Nidhogg's pissed. What is happening? Nidhogg, he roars. He knows we are here then. His fury, it bleeds through the eye. That would have actually been an interesting way of going about the story where, like, the more we do that pisses off Nidhogg, it, like, overwhelms Estinian. I mean, eventually, you know, something similar happens, but it's not in the same vein. Fear not, I am yet my own master. But that damned worm's wrath burns hotter than flame. Come, the heart of the dragon's homeland yet lies before us. "'Twas not we who add another... Oh, thus... Okay, not 'twas. Thus do we add another link to the chain of vengeance. O Saint Shiva, when will it end?"
To the peak of Som Al, at the end of a perilous mountain path, whence could be seen a string of pearl-like islands floating impossibly atop a sea of clouds. To a domain where dragons and men had once lived in harmony, whose majesty no mortal eye had glimpsed for nigh on 1,000 years, they came.
Well, much of the zone is kind of meh for me. The structure of I think it's called the Zenith is definitely quite a sight. We stand within the sacred homeland of dragons, beneath the sky that is Hraesvelgur's domain. Our quest nears its end, Lavenza. Ah, I feel the worm's anger. His lair is not far at all. I noticed that, like, the next dungeon in line is the Eyrie. So I wonder how much more we'll have to do before unlocking that. We have reached it at last, the peak of Samal. 'Tis said to be the highest mountain in all of Eorzea, you know. I thought it cold in Kurthis, but the air here carries the chill of a dozen winters. Thank you all for watching this video. It's been a lot of fun playing through Heavensward again. And yeah, it's such a great story. And we just finished up part 1 on tonight's stream and started part 2. So we're moving through it quickly. And I'm excited to play more of it and to get on to the other expansions. So if you've enjoyed this, please, again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please come and join me live on Twitch. The link is down below. Thank you again for watching. Have a great one.